Catastrophe! Take 29, we haven't even started.
What have you been doing?
Go, go, go! Oh, get in. Right. And then shuffle over a little bit further for me. And I have that there. Hello! Welcome back to Cam's Camcorder, and today we're doing episode 1 of Catastrophe with my niece,
Daisy!
Yay! So, what album are we doing today, Daisy?
21 Pilots?
It is 21 Pilots. So yeah, this is Scaled and Icy. So, what's your exposure to 21 Pilots? Like, how well do you know them?
Well, I like a lot of their songs, but like I don't listen to all of them, so I'd say not too well.
Literally, like, I know 21 Pilots because Michael, my other half, and Daisy's other uncle really likes 21 Pilots, and they're usually really dark and edgy, and they're really cool, but which normally isn't always like the best music for me. I'm kind of more corny, but I found like they kept bringing out new singles for this album, and I was like, this is actually really good. And then eventually got this, and this is actually my first ever vinyl, so for the record player. Ooh. So for this to go on vinyl, like, it has to like be really good for me because these cost a lot. So this came out, this was a lockdown album, so this was like, came out in 2021, I think it was May 21st. Cam,
don't hold him against that.
Cam, when you do editing, check that date, please. And I think the concept of this album, I think, well, 21 Pilots, they've got like, I don't know if you, well, I didn't know this, there's quite a lot of lore to their music. Yeah. And apparently, like, so their previous albums, there's been like Blurry Face and someone else, and they're like really key characters in their stuff. Whilst this didn't, it doesn't seem to go with the narrative. It's really interesting.
It's a bit more like unique than the others.
I think they decided they wanted to do an in-between album, although, so Scaled and Icy is an anagram, so when you rearrange letters to Clancy is dead. Now, Clancy is a character from a previous album, which I didn't know. This is all new to me until like 2 weeks ago. And I was like, what is this?
Cam's been doing his research.
Well, I think, because it's like, initially I was like, going in, I was like, I may as well know some things. I'm like, oh my god, the eye-opening.
Everything now.
Yeah, I think majorly, like, it's called Scaled and Icy because I think it's called Scaled Back and in Isolation. So basically lockdown, where everything was scaled back and we're in isolation. Smart. Yeah, and that's where I think the main name is. I think there might be this anagram is either really coincidental or they did think about it, but they never really talk about the lore, apparently. They kind of let their fan base discuss it.
It's like a mystery.
Yeah, which I think is kind of cool. I think the die-hard fans think this is like a propaganda album in the world that's because it's set in a dystopian world. For me, I just like this album because it sounds great. Yeah. Is there anything else you want to talk about 21 Pilots before we begin? No? Right. Let's do it. So, hold on. So, do you... Oh, so people can see. So, it slides out. It reveals a cool little...
Oh my god.
Oh my god. And then all the songs, guys.
Ooh.
So, and then the vinyl.
I love like the fade in this.
It is really cute.
Pretty.
I love the aesthetic on this.
So like colour matched as well.
Yes.
They're very smart.
Side A. So I think we decided we're going to do one song at a time, wasn't it, in the end?
Yeah, one song is so.
Good Day is first.
Woo, woo.
It's a good day. Song number 1. So, Good Day. What was your views of Good Day?
I love the vibe of it. I love how the vibe just carries on, and it's just a really good song.
Try and get some light in it. I feel like we're going to look really flushed in here. I'm really sorry. We're going to look so beautiful. I'm going to do loads of editing to make us look really beautiful. Yeah, because I know when I first like brought up doing the album series with you, you like, I think the main song you knew from this album was Bounce Man.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm just intrigued to see what you think of the rest of the album, having now listened to it. For a song that starts the album, it's a really good vibe. Like,
yeah, I love the way the beat just comes in and it fades as well. The like words, the way they're singing the words just really fit like everything else.
when I first listened to this song, I wasn't really sure what the vibe, because the vibe is positive, but then there's the verse where he says, I lost my house, my wife and child, or something like that.
Yeah, that bit's like, you should sing it, I lost my wife.
Yeah, it's a very positive song, really upbeat, but like,
There's like some dark bits.
there are dark bits to it.
But I love how he just doesn't change the vibe. It's just like he just happily singing, like he lost everything, and then it's just like that. It's a good thing.
I think he's nailed it. Like, I think that was the point of the song, in the sense that it's meant to be like, no matter how bad things are, there is something good to look forward to. Like, literally, he's lost. Yeah, he's literally lost his wife, his child, and his homie. So it's like, I'm assuming one of his best friends is suing him. Like, the betrayal. I'm like, oh my god. I'm not gonna question it. It's a good song.
Yeah.
But actually,
there's actually a story behind it.
And kind of coming. Yeah, and I think kind of coming back to it being a COVID record as such. So and I think that's the vibe. Is like everything can be really dark and miserable and lonely, but there's something still good to look forward to. And I think that's kind of a nice vibe for COVID, because when they did it initially, they released a song called Level of Concern, which isn't on this album, but it was a single that was a COVID single, so it's about not giving up on hard times and try and be positive. And then this album that came out, so I was really upset that the first single didn't come out on this album because it fit the vibe. They later rectified it with like a bonus album thing, but I already bought this one by that point, so I'm not made of money. Hence why I'm living in a van. Oh yeah, we're in the van, guys. If you didn't know, we're in a van. Yeah. Because it looks so good.
I'm a special guest.
Yes. Daisy
I'm so lucky.
An exclusive VIP member.
I can even touch the ceiling. That's how important I am.
To the ceiling! Anything else you want to talk about for that song?
No, I think we like covered it. Yeah.
Should we move on to song 2?
Yeah.
Let's move on to song 2.
Yay.
It's Joker. Only smoking secondhand, coming for me. Body screaming out, trust your mind's list as a shadow casts upon the ground where you'll eventually. Also, I just realised something's very wrong in my setup. Bear with me as I fix. But talk me through what you think about that song, Daisy.
New favourite song.
New favourite song?
Yeah.
What about it? That's a big.
No, I really love how there's like a little bit of like a fast section in one of the verses. Like a bit of a rap kind of thing, and then it's also just like a soft bit, but also like really upbeaten bits, and I really like that.
Yeah, so Choker is, have I done it? He's done it! Sorry. Yeah, no, Choker is, like, the first 2 verses, really relatable. Like, it's that whole lacking in self-confidence. Like, I don't bother anyone, nervous when I stand. Just, like, the whole idea not speaking up for yourself.
It's really like a story in every song here.
I think what they're going for with a choker is, you might have seen it like when someone's on stage and they like go blank, they don't do anything, they choke. So it's the idea that I was born a choker, he was born a failure, he was born someone who would always fail or do something wrong. But in the 3rd verse, what I really like is that he sings something along the lines of, I've got no volunteers to co-sign on my fears, so I've got no one to help me, basically.
Yeah.
I'll sign on the line alone, I think.
It's a very loner story.
Yeah, but then he goes into, I need to change my circumstance alone, I need to move right now. And it's that he realises he needs to do something.
It's building up his life.
He realises he's at kind of a low point. No one else is there, but he sees he needs to get himself out of it. Yeah. And I think that's kind of like, it's quite a dark song.
Yeah, it could also help a lot of people if they read in between the lines.
Yeah, I think so as absolutely. I think it's a little bit deeper than the first song because there's more to get out of it.
You definitely have to read into it a bit more.
For me, I very relate because I've had a lot of self-confidence issues over the years. So why the hell I'm doing a YouTube channel, I don't really know. Should we cut to song number 3, or is there anything else on that song you would like to talk about?
No.
Song number 3. Ooh. Is Shy Away. Would you like a song? Song number 3, Shy Away. Now, I don't think I mentioned it yet, because like Shy Away is, I think, was the debut single from this album. It was the first single that came out. Choker was another single, so the one that came out, the song we just listened to before was also a single. But yeah, so Shy Away was the first single, so it was the first taste of this album they released. What did you think of Shy Away?
I really loved at the start beats where it was like, it sounded a bit eerie as well, because you could hear, like, I don't know if it was, but it sounded like screams of police sirens.
Oh my. Oh, I didn't pick. I like that though. Yes.
I think I heard something like that. I could be completely wrong, but like it just sounded a bit more eerie at the start, and then it built up into like the happy beat.
Do you think it leads back to the idea that this is like a propaganda album in like a post-apocalyptic world, and there's sirens going on in the background, but they're trying to sing a happy song to detract from it? Maybe we found something, Daisy. There's something new. But yeah, Shy Away. I've seen a couple of different things about Shy Away. So like, I think someone was saying like it was the main singer. Oh, I can't remember his name. Joe. I should know this. Can put the names of the 2 members of the band up somewhere, please. But yeah, basically it was written, I think, for his younger brother to just, again, it bleeds from the last song about confidence and stop shying away from things like
an inspirational song to help the younger generation or something.
I think it's that whole thing of like, particularly again, kind of going back to it being a COVID album, it's so easy just to not be outgoing or try new things and not do, and it's just it's easy to be in your comfort zone, and he's basically like, no, like leave your skin on the floor, like just go out and do something. And I think like it was almost, I think in one of the last verses into the chorus or bridge, one of those things, he kind of almost yells, I can't remember what the lyric is, you better not be there, you should be long gone. Because he wants him to get out of the house. So who it's for, I'm not sure. I think I read somewhere, think it's for his younger brother, but also some people say it could just be self-reflection on himself. Again, I quite like that though. Again, I know I get stuck in my comfort zone too much, and I don't, it's just very easy to not.
It would be quite a good story for either, but I feel like if it was like for himself, it would be more of like something telling his story, which he does a lot as well. So
I think the lyrics maybe slightly better suit that it's not him, it's someone else, but I like the idea.
I like the idea that it's himself, but it does seem like it's for someone else.
Yeah, I would agree. Oh, I haven't said this. At the end of what we're doing now, we're going to rank the songs in order of what we like the most. So have you been keeping a track of which ones you like the most so far? We'll see at the end. Shall we go for track number 4?
Yes.
Track number 4. We're making waves. So, The Outside.
Ooh.
Nodding, hands are moving up.
Welcome to the floor.
Prehistoric times, brr. Take my vibe, or am I on the outside? I think I'm on the inside. I'm on the outside in the summer heat. You can pay the cover charge, I'm in the street. Can't touch me, I'm vibing. Ah, no, I'm too slow. So, track number 4, The Outside. What did you think of The Outside?
On that one, I just really like the beat, and I really do like the lyrics as well. At the start, it seemed like the beat kept building up as the song kept going, which I thought was quite cool.
Was there a lyric that you really liked as well?
No, I just like the whole, like, the full, like...
The whole thing. The whole thing, I love it.
You should do a like count on me. Like...
I love it. For me, like, musically, this is very well polished. It's very sleek. It's very catchy. It's got lots of different parts to it. It's intense in places, but still fun and skippy like the rest of the album. There's also a music video that went with this, and it was quite dark, so it felt more like their old stuff.
Yeah, it did seem a bit more dark than the others, but it was also like, so the beat was so upbeat that you couldn't really tell as much.
I think it's also like, for me, lyrically with this album as well, as like, not this album, this song, I think even now it's one of those songs I still don't think I quite get. Like, it's really catchy, I think I know all the words, but now I'm looking back, I'm like, what is the lyrics of this song? Like, I think I just passively...
Yeah, you really have to read deep to even find anything. Yeah.
This was also a single that they released. This was the last single from this album that released, was the 4th one. And I do think there was some lore to it. I just think there were other songs this album that took my interest. So
more than it.
Yeah. Oh, hang on, have we got... There's lyrics on here. Yeah, I was thinking like, they have lyrics usually on these things. So where are we? So the outside. So
that's cool.
We've got on driver, take my eye so I don't fall asleep again.
So it's like, it kind of sounds like he's trying to like in a dark place, like committing like suicide-ish.
I think there are, well, it's funny you say that, because I think there's a song later in the album that better talks about that sort of thing. But this one, I think it's like up and down, they're nodding, heads are moving up and down, you got it, everyone's standing. Like, I think it's that whole thing about everyone being like a sheep mentality. So I think this kind of goes into this dystopian idea again. So this is where I think it's a bit, there is a slight more negativity to it. I don't like the idea of sheepishness and not sheepishness, but like the idea that everyone is a sheep sort of thing. I get the context. Oh god, you start talking about social, economical, political things in that. Yeah. And I think a song like that,
it doesn't always fit into, like, I get that they try and make their music like upbeat and a bit like sad, but like that doesn't always fit too much.
And don't get me wrong, I like the contrast of a negative, like a dark topic placed with a positive beat and stuff. But yeah, I think it's that idea that, and I don't necessarily disagree with the message that we should push and question things more, and we shouldn't just go with the flow for the sake of going with the flow.
A unique person. Yeah.
You said it, you got it. In the later verse where it was a bit more like, not quite a rap, but that sort of thing where it's saying, I am the Megatron, cogs I am stepping on, then the little cogs got together, started a renaissance, switched it up on me. So it's the idea that he was the big gun, and then he basically was a dick to all the little people, and the little people rose up and basically overtook him and overthrew him. So it's that, again, it's that idea that we shouldn't just follow people because they're more successful or anything like that. We should be questioning them and standing up for what is right, sort of thing.
Own stand.
Yeah, and I think now having read that again, I'm like, actually this is why I think it doesn't resonate with me, because I don't necessarily
follow.
Not even necessarily follow. Like, I think, what am I trying to say, Daisy?
I don't know.
I think I don't relate to this song as much. Like, again, I don't see myself as someone who follows blindly. But then again, I think a lot of people don't think they follow blindly.
I see myself, I do try and fit in a lot. So I'd say I am probably one of those people that do try and just follow to not upset anyone.
Blend into the crowd, like almost. Yeah. I think I'd like to think I'm a person who stands out, but then when it comes to something,
once I get closer to people, that's when I start to be myself.
It's easier just to settle in, and then when you feel you're in your space, like I feel like I can make. Yeah. Is there anything else you want to talk about from that song, or go into song number 5?
Song number 5.
Saturday. Right. Let's go into.
If only it was Saturday today.
Yeah. I'm so annoyed I only thought about this now. With the lyrics, we could have been talking about lyrics. Slow down on Monday, the ocean floor. I can't feel the ocean, no. Oh, yeah. Working on music. On Friday, but on Saturday. So, Saturday, Daisy, what did you think of Saturday?
Right, so there was like some lyrics where it was like, like
Let's get the
swimming
lyric
around.
sheet. Yes.
It was something about like swimming around in circles in the fishbowl.
Yes, well
and
done,
like
yes.
which controls like the repetitiveness of
Yeah.
his life. And then it's also like something like she told me to change my clothes, like being controlled as well, in a sense.
Oh, I see what you mean. Oh, I quite like that. Yeah, I see what you mean, because like she told, yeah, because there's this she, which obviously we hear maybe a bit later.
Yeah.
Where was that? Where did it say that? Yeah, she said that I should change my clothes. I exaggerate the life we used to know.
It's like his life isn't
I like
exciting,
that.
it's being controlled.
And again, so again, kind of following on from the last song, that's quite good. I didn't see that thread. I think there's also mirrors to that as well, like where he says, the way it was the talking bit. Does it come up? I don't know if it's a lyric.
I don't think it says it, but it's like she's like also controlling him in that bit as well, like telling him what to do.
It depends, because I think I don't really know their relationship at all, and I think that is a genuine voicemail. So I don't think. So there's a part of me like I don't think he's actually in a controlling relationship.
No,
But-
but that's the story.
Yeah, I
of
know.
it.
That's what I see what you mean. I think one of the things she said was like, if you feel inspired, you should just go for it.
Yeah.
And I feel like there is elements of support there.
I think that hints at a relationship as well.
Yes, like their
Like
relationships
the-
have.
Like the controlling part, and like maybe he was going through something with that.
I think, and I say relationships kind of, they're not always one, like a flat tone, like there's lots of like good and bad to a relationship.
Yeah, that's
so-
what I feel like that song was like.
Actually,
of
that's
that.
quite interesting, because I saw that as a lockdown song, not necessarily as a relationship, but yeah, I think there are strong elements of their relationship coming through on that. This song as well, I think, again, kind of going back to the whole theme of the album, was that scaled back and in isolation, and I think this song best reflects it. So he talks about going slow down on Monday, because everyone hates Mondays, not a sound on Wednesday, because again it's halfway through the week, might get loud on a Friday because it's Friday.
Friday.
But on Saturday we paint the town, because it's a Saturday, you do what you want, it's Saturday, it's a great day. But I think
Sunday.
he then talks about, I exaggerate the life we used to know. So I think pre-COVID, that's what you would have done.
Yeah.
And it's like, I lose my sense of time or two. Weeks feel like days, medicate in the afternoon. So it's that whole thing, like weeks feel like days, and vice
Or going
versa.
so
Well, it's going slowly, it's going quickly, and have you lost your footing too? And again, I think you're saying like floating circles in my fishbowl as well.
It's
Is
just
that
getting
just
boring.
Yeah, absolutely.
The isolation and repetitiveness.
Yeah.
Every day. And
But
stuff.
I like your pulling of like control and stuff, because unfortunately there are some people who probably in lockdown and stuff were stuck in maybe particularly controlling relationships and stuff as well. So I quite like that you've pulled that out. It's very mature, very dark as well. So I think this talks about sort of the optimism of the lockdown, and
Yeah.
I mean, again, I like the energy. I can't really relate to it, because lockdown for Michael and I, for instance, was not good at all. Like, we were we were in a very bad
was-
place. And don't get me wrong, I'm very glad for those who had like a really good lockdown, like optimism, or found a new lifestyle or anything like that, or a new path in life. But I didn't, so
It was boring.
it was dark. I was surprised that wasn't a single in its own right, because it's upbeat, it's about
It's very
Saturday.
good, yeah.
It's not my favourite song on the album, but it had kind of not a basic vibe, I don't know what I'm going for, like, it just had a really easy listening vibe.
Yeah, it was just like, well,
Saturday,
not
go out Saturday.
basic, but just something that you can just listen to and not get bored of, really. Just like...
I think it has single energy. So-
Yeah.
But is there anything else you want to talk about, or should we move on to I think this is the last song on this side of the vinyl.
Ooh.
I know, and then we gotta flip it. Flip
it.
like a flip phone. Right, let's see. Well, not quite like a flip phone. Right, that's a bit
Samsung.
retro.
Technical difficulties.
Yeah. We'll be back in a minute. Why cure disease of confusion? Oh, you better educate yourself, but never too. Oh, so go!
Catch him all.
to weaponize you, and for a second try, you and I. That was song number 6. That is Never Take It. I believe that's Never Take It. It is Never Take It. What did you think on that? Because there is a very specific theme that was talking about.
With the educate yourself but not too much.
Oh yes, I like you picked that one.
I felt like it was like not wearing yourself out too much. Other than that, I don't think I picked up on too many things. Like weaponize is like defending yourself.
So, well, it depends. So we talked about hardcore fans at the start, and you know when they talk about like this dystopian law and stuff.
Yeah.
So. It's a bit of a contrast. So some of this is attacking the government in this law, basically, and saying like, we'll never take it, we're going to break free. But then a lot of the hardcore fans think this is a propaganda album where it's basically they're forced to sing positive things. So I'm like, well, how would the government let them sing positive things and then sing about
and then attack them as well?
So this is where like I don't necessarily think this album is fully tied to the law of previous albums. Oh, excuse me.
Is this one like a single?
So this wasn't a single, but it is. So talking about kind of government in the law, this is very political. This is their by far most political song on the album. So basically they talk about like so you know Donald Trump. This is Donald Trump era. So it's the idea of they keep lying through their fake teeth. And then they're asking for a second try. So they had the one term of Trump, and he was going for a second term. So that's how he didn't get his second term.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was basically talking about like why cure disease of confusion when you're the treatment facility. So it's the idea of we can just keep on top of like keeping people in the dark, not telling the truth constantly, and it's manipulating people, and they're trying hard to weaponize. So oh god, that's a really dark thing. So yeah, it's basically
strategies.
Yes, it's very dark, and it's the idea of turning people against each other to distract from the actual bad person, if you see what I mean.
Yeah.
So it's making like me and you have a fight, whilst actually it's Michael who's orchestrated it.
Yeah, it's like just strategizing to get kind of like manipulative, like what you want out of people. Yeah,
and I think when it says the summer I watched the Tube, which I'm assuming is YouTube, I saw enough, taught myself to play guitar, tearing it up. So I think it's that thing is that again, like YouTube for instance is quite again I think this is where it's coming from. It's saying that YouTube is both useful for like you can learn things. There's some really, but also he saw enough, and I think because there's so much on YouTube where there's quite dangerous things on YouTube as well. And again, it's talking they profit from a great divide. They benefit from dividing people and making people angry, and rather than harmonizing and unionizing and everyone being happy, they benefit from making people basically separate them. So yeah, it's by far their most political track, which out of all of them so far, like oh my god, don't get me wrong, I really like it. I think a lot of
that could have brought some haters to them as well. That was a very risky song, I feel like.
And don't get me wrong, I think I like it when artists do that sort of thing. I feel like it's good to take a chance,
take a risk. Yeah,
that's what they believe in.
What they what they see in it.
And I think it's good when you have an artist who's quite brave enough to be like, "This is where I stand on this. I'm calling the government."
Yeah, I do really like.
Daisy, we're now at the halfway point. What song would you say is your favourite so far of the 6 we have heard? Refresh your memory.
I liked Good Day and Choker. I think they were my favourites.
Yeah, don't overthink it. I just want to know roughly. We've got 5 more songs.
I think Choker was probably my favourite. I did really like Saturday as well. I feel like Saturday and Good Day kind of bring the same vibes a bit. Right,
shall we hop on to the next one? Track number 7. Let's burn through. Mulberry Street. Keep your bliss. There's nothing wrong with this. Scoot your butt over the side.
Ooh, remix.
And don't ever forget. Mulberry Street. Yeah. So move to your feet. And the sky. Keep your bliss. Oh no! And I'm on the listen. Mulberry Street, wait, we're pushing sideways. Mulberry Street, street, highway, we're pushing sideways to see you.
Roof.
Mulberry Street there for song number 7. What did you think of Mulberry Street?
I actually really like that song, and it's like I heard the bits about where it was like you take the weekends, we'll have the bits in between them and save your breath and stuff.
Yes.
It's like the people who think they're more important, who look down on them. Them trying to raise up as well, finding their own community in between as well.
This song is about mental health in a lot of it, and people who struggle with mental health. So the idea that you've said like about people finding community, so those who are struggling with mental health finding a community, fits. So that's really cool that you've seen that. Like, keep your bliss, there's nothing wrong with this. Is the idea that like you might have like a mental illness, like you might be depressed, you might have learning difficulties, anything like that, but
keep happy.
You're yourself.
Find yourself as well through the times.
And it's like there's nothing wrong with this. Like it's you. One of my favorite.
It's not like a disease that is like something that's horribly wrong with you.
No, and some things you cannot help, and like there is some of them. I mean, you could draw parallels to disease, but not in the traditional sense.
Yeah, but not in like. Also, like it's still you, as in you can still. Like, sometimes you don't feel as you, but, like, it's still yourself, and that's, like, the moral of the song.
And I think that's what a lot of people struggle with. One of my favourite lyrics is, keep your sunny days, leave us in the rain, tie strings to our hands and feet to rain on your parade. And I really like that. It's like the idea that people who struggle rain on other people's days and stuff. And and again, that
really goes deep as well.
It's for a really upbeat, skippy song. Like it's like skipper energy, something you'd skip to. It's covering quite a lot. But it's like get out of our way. We're moving sideways. Is the idea that we are moving, just not in the traditional way. Like we are different, but we're owning it
as well. Like,
absolutely. And I think there's
it's us.
And it's like I think there's ain't no sunny skies till you finally realise that everybody relies on synthetic highs. So people on mental health issues or even learning difficulties, they might have to take medication and stuff, but other everyday people who don't take traditional meds still get synthetic highs. Like they get their things that they need, their caffeine, their coffee, these other things that they need.
It's just all the same, honestly, because we're all humans.
And when times aren't the best and I'm on the edge, I'm listening for a song in the distance, and I think it's like hope. He's looking out for something to make him better again, like, you know, for something to make him remind him, just keep sidewalk under your feet. It's a really nice song.
I like how the sideways and the side, like, I like how it all links together as well.
Like the sidewalk and walking sideways, is that what you're covering? Yeah. So starting the second side of the album, like it's gone into a different gear entirely. We've gone from a very political one into
like a very
mental
deep
health.
One.
It's that total contrast again of quite a difficult topic, but in a very happy, portrayed way, sort of thing. Is there anything else you want to talk about before we move on to number 8? Sorry, Formidable.
No.
Let's go for it then. Let's get to song number 8. 788.
788. Oh, we're on 788.
788.
How long have we been here?
We've been trapped here for a year. Please let someone else let us out. We just met, but can you take me everywhere you've ever been? Yeah, how would you? Pause it, Cam, pause it. Stop.
Go, Cam, go.
So that is Formidable. What did you think of Formidable, Daisy?
Well, second, I feel like it was about first sight.
What, love at first sight sort of thing? Okay, yes.
And also, I feel like he's waiting for someone else's answer, so he has to have someone else. It's like somewhere in here it says I'm just worried my loyalty will bore you. It's about that It's about that, like, not having as much self-confidence, so you have to have someone else to, like, guide you.
Literally, that little lyric, I worry my loyalty will bore you, is like one of my favourite lyrics
like
from the song.
it's what really, like, ties it.
And again, kind of talking about contrast in sound, like, it was kind of one of the more low energy songs so far, but it's quite intense. Like, I know that we just met, but can you take me everywhere you've ever been?
Yeah,
like, it's very, like, intense.
A bit desperate as well.
And again, it's that relationship. It's just like, I can't believe that I'm for you. It is. It's just a really, it's a love song, I think, ultimately. I'm afraid of you now more than I was at first, which I quite like. It's that whole, I've got nothing to lose initially, but when you're 13 years later, you've got a relationship to maintain.
I feel like his whole thing about this song with her is about, or him, I don't know. Well,
it's funny you say that, actually, because I think what I've read is that I've read somewhere that it was actually for his bandmate. This is for his bandmate who he's been singing with. But for me, I'm like, it's a bit intense for that, but I get, like, some friendships are as strong as a relationship for some people.
In a way, it could maybe mean that, like, something in the other person makes him feel self-conscious. Like, maybe the other person's just, like, amazing. Just, he thinks that they're better and and so about all of that is just scared that the other person is just going to get bored of him because he's not good enough.
As we're listening to this, and again, only because you've mentioned, like, controlling elements before already, it's a different type of control. This other person isn't forcing him to do anything, but the speaker is clearly controlled by the other person, but just because of how much they love this other person, they'll do anything. Like, I would die with you.
The way where they just want to stick with it. It, like, means it just means to them. Yeah,
and it's that whole thing. I would die for you, but I would die with you. So it's that whole I would live a lifetime with you sort of thing. Is that?
Yeah.
So it's really cute.
It's like, again, linking back to all the loyalty.
I think it's really, really sweet. This, I think it is a love song through and through. I think whether or not it's for someone he's romantic with, or if it is just for his best friend, I think it's really sweet. It's maybe quite it's intense.
It's very intense. Yeah.
It's not my favourite song on the album. It's quite low energy. But it's just quite sweet. We haven't really had a love song yet in the album, which for music being, so much music is love songs. So it's kind of like we've got to song 8.
Honestly, there's too many. People need to think of something else sometimes.
Yeah, I think it's getting better now these days. I think people are realising, oh my god,
there's too many.
Yeah, there was an era where there was literally nothing but love songs, and it's like, okay, but there's so much to sing about now. Like,
and there's so many more stuff as well.
And I quite like, so this album, even so far, we've gone from politics, we've gone from lockdown, we've gone from mental health, we've gone from self-confidence issues and seeing the better side of things. We're now moving on to song number 9. Are you ready for the Bounce Man?
Yes!
The Bounce Man. Finally, this is what Daisy's been waiting for the entire time.
Yay!
Right, so let's get Bounce Man.
The Bounce Man.
It's the song.
It's just amazing.
It's the goat. Right.
It's the goat.
There. Perfect. Bounce, bounce, man, come to the house. You got your phone, 'cause this went straight to voicemail. Oh boy, what you do? You should bounce, 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 man, come to the house. I'll let my old lady know. Come knocking. She's been crying, but I tell you fine. Come to the house, man, and out, man. Before you bounce, 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 man. Don't so long. Da 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 da. So long. Oh, I need to stop it. Let's do it right. Bounce Man, the song of the album, particularly for you. How did you find Bounce Man in the first place? How did it come to your knowledge?
How I found Bounce Man was you and Michael on.
Was it genuinely?
I think it was.
I thought you were going to say, like, oh, it was TikTok or something, and then...
I think firstly I heard it from you and Michael.
Yeah.
And then Liv and Daniel, my brother and sister, had an obsession with it for a while because it was like it was really popular all over like the internet, and so we kept playing it in the car. So I just eventually got used to it, and then it was just I just love this song so much.
Because I have a feeling, so I'm going to try and look it up. I don't think this song was released as a single. Weirdly,
It should be. It's so good.
I'm almost certain the singles that were released were "Shy Away," "Choker," "The Outside." Oh, what were the other ones? Wikipedia will do. Oh, so Saturday was released as a single after all. That makes sense. Okay, going back, so anyone who's been viewing this and thought Saturday was a single, I'm like, we now see. Sorry, apologies, we were wrong. Well, I love the idea we'll talk about. Saturday had such single vibes. I'm surprised it wasn't a single.
Yeah.
It was a single. So this wasn't, but Bounce Man wasn't though.
This song, I feel like it's about like either like brothers or like homies, like stuff like that.
Yes.
So I feel like the person's done a crime.
Yes.
We have no idea. I don't think we have any idea what they've done, but they've done something bad. They've clearly they're being hunted by someone.
It's something like One Last Goodbye. It's such an upbeat song, but then it's like such a sad thing, like the whole goodbye of this whole like two really close people.
I love the use of I'll let my old lady know, so let my mum know, sort of thing.
Yeah, and my wife's been crying, so it's obviously someone that they both know really personally.
Yes, I think like if your mum knows a friend of yours, it means that you go back way back. It's not an adult friend. This is a childhood friend.
And the fact that the actual wife is like crying, it's like my wife's been crying, but I'll tell her fine. It's like obviously important to her as well.
You know what? I didn't see it like, 'cause it doesn't actually say who's crying. It just says she's been crying. I just assumed it was the guy running away's wife, or girlfriend, but I didn't think of it like that, because actually it could be anyone. It could be a daughter, it could be anyone.
I thought it might have been the wife.
The use of she would imply someone was already been discussed, but it's a song, so I get they can't bring every character in. And I think don't get me wrong, obviously we don't know what they've done.
Yeah, we're just guessing.
So obviously they've done something very illegal.
And they might be chased by like they might be I forgot how to speak. They might be being chased.
Yes. We got there, yes.
By the police or like some gangsters.
He's obviously done something really bad. Like it also feels quite final. We're singing one more song. That's it. That is a final goodbye. He's not coming back.
Yeah, because they have to like move on quickly.
Yeah.
Also, it was like if they come knocking, there ain't no stopping me for you.
Yes. Yeah,
it's like that shows that they're really close as well.
He would lie on his behalf to make sure he doesn't. Yeah, I would agree. And it's like, let me know you're good on your amenities. So like, are you good on your gas bill, your electric? I will sort it all out. He's got soldiers on his pedigree. So again, it's like, I've got family who's can help you. Just let me know.
Like, so he's obviously very close to them.
Yeah, I think the only difficulty is we kind of want to know what they did, because there's a part of me that thinks it can't have been that bad, because if it was that bad, this friend probably wouldn't be so helpful. Because I'm like, you've done some really shady stuff.
I just murdered.
Yeah, I wonder if it's like he's killed someone in self-defense or something. I mean, I know the whole prison system in America is really terrible. Like, it's really bad out there. So again, I get like you don't want to get caught.
That's why the friend is like.
Yeah, so I want to know context of what's happened, because I'm not for necessarily defending someone, because like if he's killed innocent people, I'm like, I am not for helping people like that. I'm therefore assuming it's a crime where you could see the morality in it. You could see like he's got himself in a very bad position.
That's why I said about taking drugs and stuff, because it's like an addiction where sometimes you can't help yourself after you start. Also, it's like running away from them. It could be running away from his whole life as well.
Yeah, so what you think the song could be a metaphor in general, it's not necessarily
it could be.
Again, going all the way back to the law thing about like being talking about an oppressive government in this dystopian era, like he's basically running away. But we also have context, it's Mexico. So this isn't based in some fairy tale world. Mexico. Like this is happening, this is a thing happening this is something that actually does happen. There's some crimes in America you feel like you're forced to do because of your and poverty and stuff, and
Yeah.
there's so much to this. Actually, there's a lot more depth to this if you really wanted to explore it. But on the face of it,
You
it's
just
a
sit
great
there
song.
for hours
Oh
coming
my
with
God.
a load of theories for just this
Yes.
one song.
And we got 2 more songs, so we can't spend forever doing this. I just want to know context. Oh, what is this person?
Yeah, I
done?
really do. we just need to start like a whole.
We'll make a poll or something. We'll put a poll on YouTube and be like, what do you think they did?
Yeah.
And we're going to put like 4 crimes like, he stole a cat. Is there anything else you want to discuss about Bounce Man, or should we move on to the penultimate song?
We will move on.
Move on. We'll say goodbye to Bounce Man. Let's say hello.
It's bouncing away from
It's
us.
bouncing. So we're moving now on to No Chances. Oh my.
Ooh.
In this house we got feng shui, flamethrower, you a switchblade. Replaying it on. How'd you get the location?
How'd you get the location?
Put the pieces, they
phone.
say they
Oh my God.
On my phone.
Those terms
Oh my God.
Let's get a map out. How do you get the location?
when you arrive, ride the dot, my son's.
So that was No Chances, Daisy. What did you think of No Chances?
This is completely random, but a point of it, you know the Grimace song?
The Grimace song, no.
Happy birthday, Grimace. And then it just, I don't know why, but it just really reminded me of that. The whole way I was just thinking, Grimace, Grimace. It's definitely something sketchy going on.
I think,
The lyrics.
so for me, this, I only really again appreciated this recently. This for me follows from Bounce Man.
Yeah, it's like the running away. Literally, this could be the other side of it, like the people searching.
This is
for
what I mean,
him.
like we come for you, no chances. Like there are no
Yeah,
second
these
chances.
two
We're coming
really
for
link.
you.
I feel like.
That's what I feel like the fact that they're next to each other feels like it's either really coincidental or there's no
just
coincidence
they're
at all.
actually
They're
linked.
linked. I think this song, I initially want to listen to it as well because it's like, how do you get the location? How do you get the location? Put the pieces together. They say they sell the information in no terms of agreement. We spent some weekends on the grind, surveillance outside when you see you arrive. So for me, it was maybe a bit too dark and depressing a song in the sense that it's talking about like, you know, when Facebook sells data.
This is very
and stuff.
different from like the other ones.
Oh my God, like yeah, this is again kind of going back a little bit to the political one, but not it's not as bubbly anymore.
It's
We're
not
into very
really,
intense
yeah.
again.
I feel like it doesn't even sound like really a 21 Pilots song. It sounds more like their old songs.
Well, this is it. A lot of people saying that this actually is a narrative that follows on from previous albums. It's very similar. It's dark. It's quite intense. I think this follows on from Bounce Man. These are the people coming for the guy in Bounce Man.
But it also doesn't really make sense that they're like, we want you home in one piece. They want you home.
So, you know, I guess for me, like,
Oh, it could be like a non-threatening way to lure him.
that's what I'm trying to think. So
Like to lure him.
It's like we're not angry at you, even though they clearly are.
Yeah, it's just like a way to get him to come to them.
Yeah, so that's how I somewhat perceive it. If we're
Yeah.
linking the two, that's how I perceive it. Yeah, and it's like I've got a good bass and a loose tongue. So again, it's someone who speaks their mind, basically. So that particular lyric goes back into maybe the law that we've talked about with the dystopian. Like he's being hunted because he speaks his mind, not necessarily because he's done something. So Bounce.
Oh yeah, for like, you know, like different opinions.
Yeah,
like,
so he might be saying an opinion that the government don't like, and he's very loud, and he's got a good base. He said he's got a good base, so he's got a good following. So I feel like maybe that could be a way of looking at it, because again, but then Bounce Man, he's definitely done something. He's not said so. He's done something. He's running to Mexico. He's not just like, oh, I've got an opinion.
He's just literally sold out his friend to the whole 21 Pilot fan group though now. It's like, he's gone to Mexico, guys, okay?
But I think it's maybe a critique of surveillance in the world as well. Like, your phones are connected to everything. Like, how do you get the location? I mean, your phone will tell and relay location back and stuff to people who, if they want to know
It could be like trying to make them have a realization of that we know where you are. I really like the vibe of that. It's kind of my style as well. I just like the way how it goes so like how good day and like
oh my god,
awesome.
yes.
It just goes so upbeat all the way to No Chances where it's like we've come for you.
No Chances is very clear. The sound is by far the most intense sound by a long shot.
Yeah,
It's
it though.
jarring from Bounce Man, which was really skippy.
Then yeah, to Mexico, we've come for you.
Like given that narrative, like considering like that he's banished himself to Mexico, like that's not a nice thing at all. There's people crying, he's not coming back, and I think No Chances reflects that energy better.
It could be like the whole thing about the danger of too many like phones. It could be about the whole technical thing of where your phones can be dangerous to you. Like that also links to the other song where it was like, I've had enough. Like I've learned some things of the tube and stuff. But then I've had enough. So that could also link back to that.
I think in isolation, if you just looked at that song, I think that's the view I'd take it to. Like, you can't hide. There's all these things, and
but then if you read into different songs, then you can find other links to all the different songs.
Absolutely. If you zoomed out to include Bounce Man, I think you could see the narrative connecting there. And if you zoomed out even further to say that wider lore, where again he said something, he's an enemy of the state. But is there anything else you want to go through at all? And I've just seen No Chances 3, No Chances, No Chances, No Chances. So maybe there's 3 layers.
Ooh.
We've created our own lore. So, just so you see what I mean, no chances, no chances, no chances. I do like all the fonts though. I don't know if you guys can see all the fonts and stuff.
Oh, Bounce Man is my favourite font.
Yeah, it's like a really bubbly.
I love that.
I love again, it's like really bubbly, bubblegummy, and my friend's going to Mexico and he's never come back because he's done something really bad. Is there anything else you want to talk about No Chances, or move on to the very last song? We're moving on to the last song, Redecorate. Right.
Ooh, that sounds cool.
It is cool. This is a very dark song.
I can already feel like what this song is going to be like.
Redecorate.
So scaled back like an isolated. He lived on a different street, isolated. He says he likes it up and run into his room. Take a breath of room. I don't wanna live like this. Decisions wondering what to do.
It's okay.
Or redecorate.
Clean my room.
Or redecorate. That was Redecorate, track number 11, the last on the album. What did you think of that one?
That one, I feel like it was a bit more easier to read between the lines, but I really liked that song. I feel like some of it's a person trying to build a truthful legacy or a legacy that they want.
When I initially heard this, again, I wasn't enamoured. I thought the end of the album, considering it was so contrast to start, I didn't like these 2 songs at the end, No Chance and Redecorate, as much. It was such a jarring change. But Redecorate, actually, it probably took about 3 or 4, probably even more listens when I finally was like, I get this song now.
It's like someone trying to fit the expectations, and it talks about leaving as well, so it's like trying to fit the expectation where people can remember her as who she wants them to be.
It's definitely dealing with a huge, like, very heavy mental health, like we're going into suicide sort of thing, like this is very dark.
That's the one you were talking about.
So when you brought it, I was like, oh my god, wow. There is something later. The thing is, what I really loved about this song is that it's such a different take on mental health, like it's those final thoughts of people like, I don't want to go like this.
It's like, I can't do this anymore, but I still want to have something that people can make other people believe who they want them to be.
Absolutely. So I think that's the whole point of the song, Redecorate, is like, do I redecorate? So
do I put on a mask of my whole life? Or
do I leave my room how it is? Because my room would show, because obviously your bedroom is a reflection of you.
You show who you are. Or do I want to leave how I want to leave? So do I?
Yes.
But it looks like she's a person who's very conscious as she's trying to decide if she wants how people to think of her.
I think the song goes through 3 different people, but all 3 of them are doing different things. So the first one is like, something told him he should look around and tidy up. He collected many things, but never quite enough. So he feels like a failure in life. Yeah, he feels like he's a failure.
That's why he wants to do
and then
this.
She's talking about mirrors. So I'm assuming it's her reflection. She doesn't like what she sees in it, whether that's about her identity or even just image. She just
wants a whole new identity.
And then the last one, it's talking about like where was it? He might have made it if he lived on a different street. So again, it's that idea that he was probably poor, he was maybe struggling, had he had a different upbringing, he wouldn't be in this position.
Yeah.
I really like this song, and it's that whole idea, as you say, like, do I leave my mental health on display if I'm going to go now?
Or do I want people to think of me as a...
Yes. Do I
perfect
hide it? Do I make it look like I was doing okay? I don't want to leave this, because the last thing I want to do is make my people make decisions wondering what to do. So it's like, I don't want them to have to deal with my
it's
stuff.
that another thing of raining on their parade on the other
Yeah.
song. I love how all these songs link.
The last thing their mental health is going to do is rain on their parade, and it's going to rain on their parade for a long time. They're going to be mourning this person. We don't know specifically if it's suicide. They might just be running away from home, but it's still very dark. Whatever's happening in here, it's not positive. But it's a really intimate and intricate look at someone who's struggling.
I feel like a lot of songs are like, do I change who I am? But like that one really gets into the way if they want to, their like whole life comes into it.
It's like such a weird perspective, but
it's like
so
the
human.
actual in the person's like
and,
mindscape as well.
It's that whole thing of like there's all three characters are still worried about how people see them. Like we go back to the self-confidence in Choker and Shy Away. They're even at the point of them potentially leaving, they're still worried about what people might think about them.
There's something happened to those people that probably changed their perspective, where they care what people think, and that also led them into a state of depression and other things like that.
And I think it's the thing is that some people think like people with mental health it's all about them, and it's not. They still can be compassionate to the other people around them. They're very aware of what their mental illness does to other people.
I feel some people don't completely know what mental health is, because some people might mean that if you have mental health problems then you're absolutely insane. Like they haven't actually looked into the facts. What it is, like you could have good mental health. Mental health is what we all have, but we all have different types of mental health. That's what I think this album displays.
And I think you're right, like mental health should be seen as like, we see like if you're physically ill,
as everyone has it.
Yeah, and if you're physically ill, we're like, oh, you can have a sick day, but people with mental health, it's getting better.
I feel like people are getting more understanding. People are more looking into it, and schools are teaching it a lot more and stuff. And I feel like we should always look at mental health as something we all have, and it doesn't make us different in any way. It's something that we all have. It's just different types of mental health.
I guess I wonder as well, like where they're using other people, like they might have already left by now had they not been thinking about other people, and maybe having good people that they care about around them has made them stay around
for a bit longer,
and might just get them through this next phase. I like it because the vibeZ has changed gradually throughout a little bit, not majorly, but then this song I think works because this would be jarringly negative anywhere else. Bounce Man into No Chances makes sense, and then No Chance, like that intense vibe, works with Redecorate.
I feel like this whole album is about what other people think and trying to stand up or change something.
Yeah, but I love the idea of having a song called Redecorate as the last song.
As it all finishes, they want to change it.
Even like you redecorated your room recently, and it's really nice, but it's starting a new chapter, sort of.
Yeah, like as I'm getting older, I have different things. Yeah,
and I think the idea, like just
it's
from
changed.
21 Pilots to redecorate at the end means they're now ready for the next album, the next to start the next thing.
The next chapter of
their lives,
this,
I think
and the story of this place as well.
It kind of is a nice way to end the album in the sense that they're ready to move on to the next chapter.
Thinking
post-lockdown.
of like the lockdown thing, it could be like redecorating, so they've gone into a dark place in lockdown where they want to redecorate more exciting things into their life. It's really, I love these albums because most songs don't actually have a story, they just talk about random.
Yeah, they're very superficial.
But these actually tell a story that you can dig into to make you actually connect with the songs and the artists as well.
Is there anything else you want to talk about for Redecorate, or anything else on the album as a whole?
I think we've covered it all.
So we're going to move on to then the last task. Pass me my notepad.
Dun, 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 dun.